Good morning. Are we live? Thank you for joining me this morning and happy Wednesday. I'm Julie with Creations by Julie, and I do a live every Wednesday morning, and I decided to call it Whatever Wednesday because you never know what I'm going to show you. I like to do different crafts. It won't always be wreath making. We're going to do a lot of different things. Today I'm going to show you how to make some cute gifts just using napkins. Now this you can buy the easels, Walmart, Hobby Lobby. This is just a little canvas panel, I think they're called. But we're going to use napkins today. Let me go through the things you're going to need. You're going to need a pack of these mini canvas panels, they're called, and I think they're $6.99, and you get 4 of them. But you know, y'all know me, I don't buy anything at Hobby Lobby unless it's half price, so I got these at half price. I love these because it's so easy to put the napkins on. It's got the nice white background. You can either get an easel or you can put a strip of the magnetic tape. Hobby Lobby also sells like the circles that are magnets that you could put on the back of it. But these make really cute gifts for just about anybody.
Barbara is showing, so she likes your shirt.
Oh, thanks, Barbara. You're going to need some Modge Podge. Now this is outdoor Modge Podge because I bought it a year or so ago and I wanted the outdoor to go over some of my signs. But you don't have to have the outdoor, you can just use any kind of Modge Podge. You're going to need something to put your Modge Podge on with. And of course you're going to need some napkins. These are the napkins we're going to be doing today. I actually got this one at Hobby Lobby and I really like it. I've made several little things with it. Some of these I think I ordered. You can go online to a place called Napkins to Go, and it's napkins with the numeral 2. Go, and they have some real cute ones. This one I think is called a cocktail size. Same with this one. I really liked the chicken. These I believe I bought at Walmart maybe after Thanksgiving last year, so we're going to use it also. Okay, you're probably going to need a little bit of scrapbook paper if you want to do the shelf setter that I'm going to show you in a little bit. But one thing I will tell you, and one reason I like these canvas panels is, depending on what your napkin background is, in other words, I would not want to put this one, see how thin it is? I would not want to put it on a background that was dark color, unless I wanted like a vintage look to it. So the white works perfect. Now, this one you could kind of put on a dark background if you wanted to. It just makes all your background a little bit darker. So it's just up to you. I've had people tell me that they've picked up some real pretty napkins at Tuesday Morning. I don't think I've ever been in that store, so you know, I usually order my napkins online. Now, if you're interested in me putting together, I've got tons of napkins, and if you're interested in trying this and you want me to put you together maybe a pack of 15 napkins or something and send to you, just message me, and it would be about $10 with shipping included in that, and I'll be happy to put some in an envelope for you. Okay, I think you're going to need a glue gun. Well, you wouldn't have to need a glue gun if you're just going to do these little things, but I'm going to do a shelf setter also with scrapbook paper, so you need a glue gun. But you're going to need a piece of parchment paper, just a little piece of parchment paper, and an iron. I think my iron is set on like a low heat. So I think that's all of the things ahead of time. Please like and share this video. It helps me grow my small business, and I just appreciate y'all taking the time out of your day to be with me. So let's get started. I'm going to move some of this out of my way. Okay. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is put some Modge Podge on this. Now, for the napkins, the little secret, and what has worked great for me, is to actually let your Modge Podge dry first. So I've already got 2 already. I actually put the Modge Podge on them yesterday, and I've never waited that long, so I hope it works this morning. If not, we'll apply another coat. You want to make sure you get the edges and the corners. Sometimes your brush gets little things on it, so you want it smooth, but just put your Mod Podge all around it. A pretty good layer. It's kind of hard with the white on white to see, but usually you can turn it in the light. And since this is not wood, it doesn't matter if you go with the grain or what. So you just want to put the Mod Podge on it, pretty good coat. Make sure you get the edges, okay? All right, I'm gonna lay that aside. I'm gonna lay this one aside so it can be drying while I do these others that I put the Mod Podge on them yesterday. So like I said, I hope it works. I normally just let them dry for maybe 30, 40 minutes, but you know, there's this one I've already done, the Mod Podge. All right, so what you're gonna have to do with your napkins, now I've already cut one out of this and actually pulled the backing off. But when you get your napkins, they came in a pack like this, and I believe this one actually tells me it was 2-ply. So what you want to do, you can either cut, you know, one part of it. This one actually has 4, so you could get like 4 gifts out of this one. But you have to make sure that you're only using the top ply. And that's where, now this one comes apart real easy. See, I didn't have to do anything. And then you just throw this part away. Some of them have 3, so some of them we're going to use today have 3. So what you do is just take this, cut out your square, which like I said, I already have one that I had started on, left over from one I made. So there's the extra ply. I'm just going to throw it away. Now some of the napkins, so you see this one I just used the bottom for something. Some of the napkins you have to be careful because like right here in this corner, it actually says Brother Sister Design Studio. And I don't want that on my gift, so I'm going to use the one over here. And so just cut it out. You have to be careful, napkins are very delicate. And that's why this thing with the Mod Podge dry and the iron normally works perfect. Put your piece on there where you want it. Doesn't matter. You're going to have it over the edges. Like this one, I don't want the rejoice hanging off the edge, so it's not going to get all this pretty black. They also have these panels in, I think, 5x5 maybe, which works great for your bigger napkins. But anyway, you're going to put it on there, position it where you want it. Okay, I think that's good. You're going to take your parchment paper, lay it over it, and then get your iron. My iron is set, I think, on a medium, low heat. And then you're just going to iron your napkin on. And I like to take the edges, because you want to make sure you get those edges. And I just kind of push down on it right there to make sure I get the corners and the edges. This is so easy. If you trust your child with an iron, they can do it. And, you know, I'm not sure how long you leave it on there, maybe 2 minutes. Like I said, I hope this works. What it does, it reactivates that Mod Podge. And if you don't separate your napkins, the only part of your napkin that's going to stick is the bottom layer. This top layer is not going to stick. Let's see if that reactivated or if my Mod Podge was too. Nope, worked good.
Somebody wanted to know if that was a ceramic tile. It's not.
No, this is not a tile. It is a mini canvas panel. I've used these canvas panels, and like I said, I don't buy them unless they're half price, but I've used the panels to make signs for my wreaths. All right, that very corner came up a little bit, so I want to make sure. You could do this on a tile. I'm just not sure if you're going to use a tile. You would have to, if you're going to use it as a coaster, you would need to really cover this napkin with some good acrylic or polyacrylic or something like that on the top. No, this is a canvas panel. Like I said, I like them because of the white. Okay, that one is on there. Do you see it? Don't worry about these. I'm going to show you what to do with those in a few minutes. So I'm going to set this one aside. And let's work with this is a pretty one with a bird and some flowers. Sometimes the hardest part is just getting it started. And if that's the case, the easiest way to do it is just like tap your finger, lick your finger, and like this one's 3-ply, I believe. There's 1-ply. Usually that ply is pretty easy. Now I had already kind of started this one. See how I've got you want to gently pull. If I was to put this down on here now, the only thing that's going to stick is this bottom ply. Or stick well. So just gently pull your napkin off. Decide what you want and where you want your bird, how much of your bird you want to get. I like those flowers on the bottom. I want to get mainly the bird and just about all of his tail. So that's where I want to put it. Put your parchment paper over it. And iron for just a couple of minutes. Okay, Barbara Deshawn last week guessed where, this is a little tidbit information. I told my husband this week, I don't know how long I can do that because I'm a very boring person, so there's not a whole lot I can tell you. But anyway, she guessed where we went to celebrate our 50th anniversary. We went to Israel. So she got a little happy mail this week. In fact, she got one of these with this, I believe it's the one with the bird on it. But I thought I'd make these and use as little gifts to put in when someone purchases a wreath and I mail it to them. But kids could sit down and do this, but these would make excellent little handmade Christmas gifts and stuff. You get Christmas napkins, and these would sit in like a three-tiered tray. All right, let me check on this one, and then I'll give you a little trivia for this week. All right, that one's stuck good too. Okay, so that's 2. Let's see, now our Mod Podge there is still just a little bit damp. So I'm going to show you how you could take a piece of wood. My husband cut this 5x5 piece of wood, and actually will make a good shelf sitter. I just took some paint and put a little water in it and did it like a whitewash because I want to use this pretty napkin. See, if I was to try to take this big lunch napkin and put it on a little bitty tile, you wouldn't get hardly any of the pumpkin. So I wanted a bigger one. And I'm going to I cut out a little piece of scrapbook paper. So I'm going to make this a double-sided shelf sitter. So you take your napkin, and this one I don't think it told me if it was 2-ply, 3-ply, or whatever. So first thing you're gonna, after, I've already put the Mod Podge on this. So you put the Mod Podge on your wood and just set it aside. So I'm gonna, this feels like it's probably just 2-ply also. Sometimes you might tear the corner just a little bit. This honestly is the hardest part, is separating your napkin. And sometimes you just have to go to the other side. This does not want to come apart, and I'm sure I haven't already. There it comes. Okay, so while I'm doing this, I'll give you, no one guessed last week. The question was how many grandsons we had out of 10 grandchildren. Nobody guessed the correct number, and it's 2. And the trivia part of that is we actually had a granddaughter first. She just turned 20. The next year we had a grandson, so he just turned 19. But then it took, there it comes, it took 17 years for us to get another grandson. And in that time, there were like 7 granddaughters scattered in there. So the answer from last week was 2. So that's the little piece of trivia, and I don't know what my question will be next week, but, okay, so I'm gonna decide which one of these pumpkins I want to use. I don't wanna use that one because it's got a line in it. But most of the time, I mean, you could get at least 2 projects. So I'm gonna take this one. I think I'm gonna use this one here on the bottom. And I think it would look kind of funny if I tried to do the border, because I couldn't do it on all 4 sides. So I'm gonna position this to where I get my pumpkin kind of even. I've got the word thankful, autumn. Okay, I think that's good. And doing it with the iron and the dried Mod Podge keeps you from getting all those bubbles. So now I'm just gonna, and I'm doing this on wood. So you definitely can use napkins to put on wood. I probably will be using some of it for some autumn signs in my wreaths. If you're just using it in your house, there's no reason to spray it with anything. A lot of people put another layer of Mod Podge over the top. But honestly, I don't like putting a layer of Mod Podge. I can't get it to look right for me. It always leaves, like, I see the lines, and I don't like that. So I use a clear non-yellowing Rust-Oleum semi-gloss sealer. Yeah, it's a Rust-Oleum sealer that's in, I actually use matte for most of this, but. All right, you see how I'm just kind of folding it down to make sure it gets all those edges. And then I'm gonna check it. You know what, they went my iron. Thank goodness it didn't fall on me. The cord didn't like go out. I didn't even cut my pumpkin out of this one. But no big deal, cut it now. You'll find in most crafting, you can fix just about any mistake. And when you're working with wood and stuff, if you don't like it, what you painted or what you Mod Podged on, you just scrape it off, sand it off. You don't scrape it off, but you just sand it off and do another one. Okay. I just always feel and check my edges.
Faith asks what sealer you use, but I don't see it out there.
It's on the shelf on this side. It's the either the matte or the gloss, either one, because I use them for different things. I like the matte because it doesn't make it real shiny. All right, that corner needed a little bit extra. Okay, here's what I get. The Rust-Oleum 2X. You want to make sure down here it says UV resistant and non-yellowing. So I get the clear. I have some that's gloss or semi-gloss. Now, if you make wreaths, you never want to put this matte on your poly burlap because it will dull it. So that's the reason I have 2 different ones. The gloss or semi-gloss is what you want to use for a poly burlap. Like the flower we made last week. Speaking of which, I still have 2 kits available in my Etsy shop for the flower, and I added the flower this morning. Okay, so that's good. We're going to let that dry for a minute. Now that's still a little bit sticky, but I think it'll be fine. We're going to put this cute little chicken on there. I just have to decide. I've already done something with that one, so we're not going to use that side. There's the first layer. I believe it's got another layer. See if I can get to, like I said, this is the hardest part, is finding that very last layer. Let's see if this one tells me if it's 3-ply or 2-ply. It's 3-ply, so there is another layer here. And it's always that last layer, but if you can get it started. See, it makes the napkins very delicate. And that's why you want to pick a color that for your background that is close. Now I could have done this beige, but I think that white will be fine. It'll kind of make that chicken pop a little bit. So I'm going to cut off this one. Position my chicken. Now this is not quite big enough to get the whole chicken. I'm going to miss a little bit of his tail feather there.
Faith said you don't need Modge Podge on top, just on canvas or wood.
Well, a lot of people put Modge Podge on top, but like I said, I would rather use the spray sealer because I just can't get my Modge Podge to look right. I don't like to be able to take something. If you'll notice this one that I did, no matter which way you turn it, you don't see streaks and lines in it like you do if I had taken a sealer and used a brush and put on there. I just like to use the spray. It varies, like I said, in crafting. There's no right, no wrong. You just do what works for you, and I don't particularly like to put Modge Podge on top. Like I said, if you were going to do something like this on a tile and you were going to use it as a coaster, you would need to sure use some sort of sealer. Probably a couple of coats of brush. Okay, I think I have him positioned where I want him. Let's get him on there. I love, there's several ways. Some people just put it on Modge Podge wet and they use a little stiff brush called a chip brush. Because, you know, if you put it on here, like I'm just going to put scrapbook paper on the back of that one. And you can tell with scrapbook paper, this works. But if it's a big piece of paper, I have gotten bubbles. So you can put it right on wet Modge Podge and use, I'll show you a roller and stuff. But like it, and use your hands and spread it. But if you were to try to put this on the wet Modge Podge and then take your hand and spread it, you're going to rip your napkin. Some people use saran wrap and put over it, but I love this little trick with the iron. Okay, it's on there. Let's set it right there. Now, I'll show you what I'm going to do to the back side. I have not put anything on this except a little bit of whitewash. Wipe that off just a little bit. This is going to be my double-sided shelf sitter for the fall. So you'll take your Modge Podge, put this on here, a good coat. You don't want tons and tons and tons, and you don't want any little pieces of thick Modge Podge. Just want to make sure I get all my edges. See, there's a little piece of Modge Podge that's hardened. Okay, and I just took a piece of scrapbook paper that I got from Hobby Lobby, and it just says cranberries, pumpkin, apple pie, crisp apple pie, turkey. I want to make sure I put it on the right side up, so I'm just going to take this and lay it on here. There again, it's cut a little larger than my piece of wood, but that's okay. Now this one you can take your hand, and you just want to start from the middle and push out. Like I said, I could use the iron on this too. I have used the iron on canvases that I put my antique hems on. I've used the iron method on them because with canvas it works great. Okay, they sell a little roller at Hobby Lobby for Modge Podge, and I believe it comes with this little squeegee thing, but you could use a credit card. But just take it and start in the middle and push out. See, if you did this with your napkins, though, you're going to rip your napkin. But this is scrapbook paper. So you just want to start at the middle and rub it out to the edges. Make sure you get your edges. And then we're just going to set it aside for a minute while we take the edges off of that. Okay, that's good and smooth. So we're going to set it over here for a minute. Okay, I think this was the first one we did, didn't we? Okay, now, you're like, what are you going to do about all this other? You know, I take a piece of sandpaper. And this is 100 grit. I think for your napkins, you could use probably 230 or something. But you're just going to take it and put it on the edges. Don't push so hard that you mess up your canvas. But you can see this just gives you a clean edge. Always go down. Don't go sideways. All right, see what a clean edge that gives you? And then I'm going to do the same thing here. Take that piece of sandpaper, do the edges, and just push it down, downward motion. If you want to like make it rustic looking, you can do a little bit up on the canvas where the edges are torn a little. Go all the way around it. And your napkin just comes off there real easy and gives you a smooth edge. It's really very quick. I mean, it doesn't take very long. You could sit down and, like I said, with each pack of napkins, figure you could get at least 2. This size, you could use all 4 edges of the napkin. So very inexpensive. Okay, and see how smooth that is? Let me wipe this up. Can you tell how smooth the top of that is? No bubbles. Then you can either take a magnet strip or a little round magnet and put it on it and make a magnet. It would look cute just sitting on a 3-tiered shelf, or like I said, you can buy these little easels and you've got a really cute gift there. All right, let's do this one. You can find some really nice napkins in the party section at Hobby Lobby also. Especially with the holidays coming up, they're going to have some pretty fall napkins. And like I said, I've got packages of these, and I've got some Christmas ones. If you want to try this and you want me to mail you some napkins, just message me and give me your PayPal ID or whatever, which will give me your address. I'll send you 15 napkins for $10, including the shipping. And I'll give you 1 or 2 of each of the patterns that I have. I have some real cute Christmas gnomes. Some of them are this size and some of them are larger that you would need to put on a bigger canvas or a shelf sitter. Okay, I won't do the bird because it's done the same way. Now what I would do, if it was just for me, in fact I have one sitting over there, a bigger one. Ed, you want to get it for me for a second? It was my very first one, so, you know, it's not perfect, so I kept it for myself. But I did this one on a big chunk, and then I went around and distressed it. And you can see this napkin didn't come any further up than right here, but I just kind of blended it in. And I made it double-sided. I have the napkins with the green, and then I just stenciled on it. But you can do some really cute gifts. Okay, now, for this one, I think I'll probably do the pumpkin side first. Do y'all have any questions? Hopefully Ed can see them, and
Where do you buy the mini canvases?
at Hobby Lobby. And wait till they go on sale about every other week, 50% off. The same time they put their canvases on sale. They also have, they're in the same place, looks like this, mini canvas panels. These just happen to be 4x4. They have 5x5. They actually have magnets. Some like this where these are just plain on the back. It's a magnet for a refrigerator. But now they are more expensive, and you can add your own magnets to it. But they have some in shape of hearts and I think stars, and I mean it's not just but I love that size, especially for these little cocktail napkins. But you can use a piece of wood. It doesn't have to be the canvas panel. These were, what did I say, $4.99, and I got them half off. No, these were $6.99 for 4 of them. They also sell the little easels, and they were $5.99 for 4-pack. But I don't buy anything at Hobby Lobby until it goes on sale. And you see how easy this gets the rest of the napkin off. And you end up with just a really nice, there's no way you could cut it, or there's no way I could cut it. I'm not that neat. But this just does it real fast. And you could keep using the sandpaper and rough up the edges if you wanted to, and then put some stain on the edges and make it antiquing. Okay, that was the napkin. Now I'm going to show you how you do the same thing with the scrapbook paper. Same. You might have to push a little harder because it's thicker, but it's the same thing. It just takes a little bit longer to get through there, but you always want to go in the down motion. Get the corners. Here's a different part of sandpaper, maybe. I've used this sandpaper a lot. These shelf setters make great gifts too. If you're handy with wood and you have some extra wood laying around. I got so excited yesterday. I told my husband I printed out some outlines of some pumpkins, and I told him I wanted to do some pumpkins as a shelf setter, and he went out to the shop and came back with, they look perfect. Now if I can just paint them and get them to look good. But he always has some extra wood, and I'm like, I want this, and I want this cut certain size. You see, your scrapbook paper, since it's a good bit thicker, it takes a little bit longer. But it's so much neater than trying to cut it. But this, I just thought this would be a really cool idea to make gifts for friends. So you can tell my scrapbook paper's getting old. I mean my sandpaper. And I don't want to rip them. Okay, I got a mess here, but you get the idea. See how smooth that is? So I've got my pumpkin on this side.
Sit it up.
Okay, I'm not done with it. And I've got scrapbook paper on this side. Then what you can do, Hobby Lobby sells, now I ordered the pumpkins, but Hobby Lobby sells these cute, and they're 99 cents. They have all kinds, there's a butterfly, And you could paint these and put them on stuff just to kind of give it a different dimension. But I had this pumpkin and I painted it yesterday. And I'm going to just hot glue. I'm going to hot glue it on this shelf sitter just to give it a little bit of that 3D. And this was just painted with plain old acrylic paint, and I stenciled the word thankful on it. Let me just hold that for a second. While that's drying, let me, so we don't forget to do this one. I would really appreciate it if you share this video with your friends, put it on your timeline. Not only will it help me, but if you want to go back and watch it again, it'll be easy for you to find. But I have really enjoyed, and I've probably ordered way too many napkins. I tend to do that. But I think it's going to make some cool gifts. And it'll be a nice little thank you gift for me to put in my shipments. Okay. Well, that was much faster than the shelf sitter. Let's see if I can show you what we did then. Okay, we've got the pumpkin. And on the back of it, it says thankful. So it's a reversible. You could put it, in your kitchen. And then we did the one with the little bird. We did the rejoice always. And like I said, I got these napkins at Hobby Lobby. And then we did the little chick. So it doesn't take long. It's very simple, very easy, and they're a lot of fun to make. And that's pretty much it. I have sunflowers. I think I have polka dots, and and you wouldn't have to put these on the canvas things. I like the white because you don't have to paint them. If you want a white background, you don't have to paint them or anything. You just put the Mod Podge on it and let it sit for, I would say, at least an hour. Like I said, but it worked fine. I actually did these yesterday, and you can see worked great. There's no bubbles. There's just as smooth. It almost looks like you've painted it on there. So I hope y'all are able to take this and make some cute gifts. Next week, I think what we're going to do is, unless the Lord changes my mind, I think I'm going to show you how to do some home decor, some signs and things for your home using the Magnolia Design stencils and chalk paste again. So I think that's pretty much it till next week. I will go back and read your comments and answer any questions you have. And I'll see you next week. Have a great day. Bye.